Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is week 8. My goodness, time is flying. Week 8 of the Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Show, betting show to be exact. My guy, Dan Hickman at DanH720. Kayvon Izami at Kayvon_sports. You guys all know who we are by now, but if you don't, if you are new, welcome aboard. This is the best college football betting show out there. It's hands down. It's not debatable. We've been doing this for 3 weeks now, and it is killing it, and we're having a blast thanks to you guys out there. We've been getting a lot of great reaction. We've been getting a lot of comments. We appreciate that. As Dan always says, and I always forget it, go and subscribe to the show, please. Give us a follow. Hit that bell so you know when a new show comes every single Thursday night. It means the world to us. Your comments have meant the world to us. Dan, without further ado, how are you, my man?
Doing awesome. This is one of the best times of the year for me, and college football is probably first place right now among, honestly, out of the three things that I do with NFL and also with even my beloved NHL, which just got started. So everything's been really fun so far, really profitable. Personally looking at over 50 units on the college football season, so I got to a milestone I wasn't sure I'd get to. I'm freaking stoked about that. And, huge week last week, almost 20 units up. I hit a couple of small parlays and just smoked through. I think I only had one straight bet loss, maybe two, all out of everything last week. My favorite team, your favorite team, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be close. Even you were doubting them. And they go to BC and just totally pancake.
Was so impressed.
Made them look like a FCS school. The U is going to have it coming to them this weekend as well, by the way. I am not jumping off the ship with that. So, the ACC sucking is something I want to touch on. I agree with all the talking heads out there on that point. It's an off year because it's an off year for Clemson, obviously. However, that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity. The ACC has some great games for betting each and every week. We've got several teams here. We've got a good divisional race between our NC State Wolfpack and Wake Forest. And on the other side, Pitt looks like to be the team if they can beat Clemson this weekend, which we'll get into later. And, all three of those teams this week are teams that I am probably going to have on my card. Even if I don't have them necessarily as my pick on the show. And I'll just turn it right back over to you.
Yeah, my guy. I'll just say, so go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'll just reiterate what you were saying earlier. Gals out there, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. That way when, our shows get posted. Not even just us, the whole talented team we've got around us here at Fighting Chance Fantasy, all the fantasy football content out there. I just wanted to make sure to put that out there as well.
No doubt. Great stuff. My guy Dan gets so freaking fired up by the ACC. He couldn't even let us tell you guys about our 6-0 week before he went right into his ACC take. But the ACC take is true. Follow it. He's right. A lot of people hate on the ACC, but guess what? We're not hating on the SEC or loving the ACC. We're loving money, we're loving betting, and we're finding value. And that is exactly what Dan is telling you. And it's fun to follow along what's going on right now with some of these teams like State and Wake. But without that said, so we have now done, this is our third show. All right, we started this show a little bit later into the college season because we had a lot going on. But this is now our third show. The first show, we went 2-1 each, right? So that's a combined 4-2. Last week's show, we went 6-0. We both hit our Fighting Chance best bets of the week. We both hit our other two bets. I mean, we were on fire. An absolute 6-0, 3-0 for me, 3-0 for Dan. And that was really, really cool to see, man. I'm ready to follow it up with another 6-0 week. Anything you want to say about that before I get into something I want to say about the Heisman race?
It's going to be tougher without UTEP on the slate. But, we've got some fun stuff coming up with that team. They're off this week, by the way. So automatically it's a tougher week for everybody out there that's been riding that team, like a lot of people have. But yeah, that's just that went as expected last week. I think people thought thought they were going to stumble a little bit. People thought State was going to be close, and it wasn't even just barely. Everything was easy last week, so hopefully it'll be close to that this week. But I will give a disclaimer: you never know what you're getting into every week with your results, So my advice to everyone out there is don't be too results oriented. Be more research oriented.
No doubt. That's one of the best things you could possibly say. It's fantastic information right there. All right, so I want to get into this, and then we're going to get right into our picks. I want to talk about, for all you out there, I know there's a very big market of future bettors and Heisman bettors and stuff like that. And the reason I want to bring this up, Dan, is this is one of the most fascinating Heisman races in a long time. And the reason that is because it's wide open. Usually by this time, we have like one person, and it's like good luck catching them. Like we all realized early last year, Devontae Smith is having one of the best wide receiver seasons ever. He's going to win it. This year, it's so open that a guy named Caleb Williams, who has played, is the starting Oklahoma quarterback, he has played 1.5 games. He's started 1 game, and he is already getting votes and notice by Heisman bettors to possibly bet. That's how open this Heisman race is. So when it comes to betting the Heisman, I want to let people know this, that it's so open. Right now you have Matt Corral and Bryce Young, Alabama quarterback, Ole Miss quarterback, leading the way at plus 200. A little variance depending on your book, but plus 200 there. They have had decent seasons. Both of them have had losses. It's wide open. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is there's a team playing that I'm going to get into later, but there's a team playing this week that has a quarterback that is playing out of his mind. No one notices this quarterback, and no one notices this team, and that is Kenny Pickett with the Pittsburgh Panthers. And it's because they're Pittsburgh. They are a pro football city. If you're going to talk college in that area, no disrespect, Pittsburgh fans, but you're going to talk Penn State. Like, that is what it is. But Pittsburgh is quietly having a phenomenal year. They're 6-1, and Kenny Pickett has thrown for just shy of under 2,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 1 interception with a completion percentage of 70%. Right now, depending on your book, he is sitting out there at plus 3,300, at plus 3,500, plus 400. Depending on where your book is, he has some outstanding odds. The reason why I bring this up is they play Clemson this week. Clemson, yes, they're not that beast of a team, but one thing they do still have is a really good defense. Their defense is the only reason why they've even won games this year. Their defense is still phenomenal. If Kenny Pickett is able to go out there and light up this Clemson defense, those odds are going to drop like no other, and he might become near a favorite. So I'm saying this now. Don't go put anything crazy on it, but if you have a little pizza change, have some fun money hanging around, and you want to go and put some money on a Heisman winner that could cash out big, look for Kenny Pickett at Pittsburgh. He's having an unbelievable season. The reason why there's such good value is because nobody talks about Pittsburgh. But if he lights up this Clemson defense, ladies and gentlemen, those odds are going to skyrocket. So get it now if you're that type of bettor. Dan, what do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. Oh, man, some feedback.
We got some comments?
No, like feedback in my mic or something. I don't know what's going on, but like I can hear an echo. But at any rate, I think it just went away. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, no worries. So we'll just go right through that. So I agree with you. I would say the biggest barrier to him actually winning the Heisman is just going to be the fact that he does play for the lousy ACC. And like, what's the path to getting into the Final Four? And if there's not a path to the Final Four, I don't know how they win the Heisman. However, if you show me some crazy odds and taking a sliver, a lot of people, the concept of value makes sense there on that. That's
what it's all about. I don't go lay your mortgage on this. Don't go lay your rent. Literally, no. This is fun money. This is where, hey, shoot a dart at the board, and you might end up getting a big payout if they keep this up. They're having a great season, all right? And again, the likelihood, because of what Dan said, is small. but it's a fun thing to look at. And I know there's a lot of people that love these type of things. It came to my mind, and I thought I would share that information. Without further ado, Dan, we are getting into, and you, unless you have something to say, go into it. But then after that, give us your first pick of the week, baby. Week 8 college football betting. What you got?
Yeah. So before I get into that, I did just want to say that I think we'll be watching that Clemson game like a hawk. If you're looking at that, obviously you're going to put it down before. I think you give great advice there.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it before. I would just really echo that sentiment big time. And I'm really going to be watching them against Clemson. I'm curious to see what they're all about. Admittedly, they're a team I haven't seen as much of as I would have liked to, but I see all the stats on them. I see what they've been doing. It's fairly impressive. All right, for my first pick this week, I'm going to go over to the MAC.
Ooh, right. Action, baby.
I'm going to do something a little different. This is a team that I embarrassingly now put a team total on over for the wins this season. I think they're currently sitting like 2-3, 3-4, something like that. I was looking at it earlier. At any rate, they do have the 18th overall defense in the country. I'm talking about the Toledo Rockets.
Love that pick.
They're 12th. They're going to be 12th in the country right now in average yards per play allowed. They're losing games but they're playing pretty well under the radar. They're 29th in the country in turnovers forced. This Western Michigan team has not had to really face a defense yet like these guys, right in their own conference. As far as I know, from what I recall, other than Michigan, maybe I'm sure if there's some Go Blue fans, they're probably hating me right now, but I will say you're a tougher, up there with them too. Because I know Western Michigan played Michigan earlier in the season. I saw that.
Yeah.
Part of it, but
that was like week 1.
First week of the season, maybe. Western Michigan's kind of got a middling offense. They're just really good at taking care of the football. They're really good at kind of like not making the critical mistake. However, compared to Toledo's much better in the red zone. They're going to convert on at a much higher rate once they get down into the red zone. Whereas Western Michigan's going to have to rely on their kicker. Can't recall how good he is or not. I don't get into that. It's too into the weeds for how much time we have. But I think that bubble could burst this weekend. I think Toledo's going to probably get into their backfield a little bit, put some rush and some pressure on them. Hopefully get to see the replay of this game because I think I'll be at work during it. But it's going to be in the Glass House in Toledo. This line opened at plus 3.5 Toledo. It's down to 2.5 now. I took it at 3 myself. Got a solid unit on it. Toledo's taken on about 35% of the bets, over 80% of the money. So that tells you guys out there and gals who's on Toledo, and it's the people with the deep pockets, like you like to say. It's the sharps. It's the professionals. Anytime we see that, if you can get in line with them. Granted, you're not maybe in quite as good a spot as they are. If you took it at a half point or a point or a hook, whatever, like a hook more, half a point more, not quite as good, but got it in there. And that is my first one this week for a unit, the Toledo Rockets. And it's -3 it's plus, I get this wrong sometimes. Plus 2.5 right now. I still like it. I like the +3 better. If you can find +3 out there, definitely shop and do that.
No doubt, man. I love that play. I am also on that play with you. Moving over to my first game of the week, I'm going with a very fishy game. These are one of those lines where you just something reeks about it, man. And that is Iowa State -7 at home to Oklahoma State. Now, the reason I say that's fishy is, ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma State, if you haven't been following, is undefeated. They're undefeated. They have not lost a game. And while they haven't had the hardest schedule, they have beaten teams like Texas, and they've had to come back from games like that. They've beaten some teams where they beaten Baylor, who me and Dan have talked about and given praise a lot on this show, and that was a tight battle. They found ways to close these tough games out. And then you say, so they're undefeated, but they're heading to Iowa State, and they're not just underdog, but they're a 7-point underdog. Guys, Iowa State is a team that had high hopes coming in, and they kind of fell off, right? A lot of people thought they could be a top 6, top 7 team. Some people even picked them for the playoff, and really right out of the gate, things just didn't go the way. They got beat up by Iowa at their home. They got beat by Baylor in Baylor. But since then, they're now back to where they like to be. See, going into the season, Iowa State's a team that they don't like to be the one that everyone's going after. They like to be the team that goes down low key. You know, they come out of nowhere, and then people start talking about them. I just think this Oklahoma State team has had every single bounce go their way, and I think eventually that corrects itself in college football. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, just listen to Vegas. Look, it's not, don't go blindly to bet what Vegas is telling you, but Vegas is telling you that they clearly do not respect this Oklahoma State team, because I've never seen an undefeated team 8 weeks into the season as a 7-point underdog. They're telling you they don't believe in this team. And that's telling me something, because I believe in the big buildings out in Vegas, and I actually like this Iowa State team. I really like Matt Campbell. I think Purdy's a good quarterback. So I actually think Iowa State shows up. I think they beat Oklahoma State pretty handily. Give me Iowa State -7.
I love that play. Took it earlier in the week myself, and you didn't even tell me till like 10 minutes ago or something.
I know.
And I was like, what?
That makes me I love when that happens. I love when I give you my pick. Honestly, I give it late because I honestly don't finish all my research till late. But sometimes for that very reason, I'm like, let's see, does he agree? All right, we got it. Let's go.
I'm all for some confirmation bias through the roof, baby. Let's do it.
Love it.
And it's funny, you were just talking about BYU, and I've literally played both sides of them, I think, in the first 2 weeks of this show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I don't know why I put this in again this week, but here I am. I'll tell you
a bet
why.
is a bet. A win's a win.
Here it comes. This one's really simple. I'll be pretty quick. If you've been under a rock this week, you may not know about this, but Washington State and BYU, I'm going to take BYU this week, all right? Here's why I'm doing that. It's really simple. Washington State is pretty much a dumpster fire with their coaching situation. They're down like 5 coaches. Now they hired 2. I got the ticker earlier today. They just hired 2 new tickers. Or I'm sorry, two new coaches that allegedly know the same kind of offense. But, I mean, there's no way they're going to be prepared for this game, bottom line. Yeah. It's going to be very makeshift. And, I looked at some things earlier between these 2 teams, and they're kind of middle of the road in terms of like their overall offense and defense against each other when one has the ball. When the other has the ball, and you're looking at things that are going to set them apart in this game, well, what I just mentioned, bar none's definitely going to set it apart. And I look out there, and this thing opened at -1.5 BYU. It's now -4. This is probably one of the quicker, more rapid moving lines of the week. A lot of pros and also a lot of recreational bettors are all over it, and for good reason. Like I was just saying, it's a unique situation to pounce on and attack. If we just throw all the stats and all the matchup stuff out the window and just look at that, it's which I don't like doing usually, like taking one thing and looking at it and being like, oh, just because of that, I'm going to throw this in here. But this is one of those spots that's a rare opportunity, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and go with BYU this week. 84% of the bets coming in on them, 78% of the money roughly from what I was looking at earlier. I would probably take this all the way down to about a touchdown. If you can get it under a touchdown before kickoff, great. If you can go ahead and take it now, even better number, go ahead and do that, because like I said, it will move very quickly. So that's it. BYU, whatever you can get them at. I got -2.5, -3 or something. It's -4 right now.
And the bit other than the great pick he gave there, listen to that advice. Just like, in the Heisman, obviously this is way 2 different scenarios, but he's right. Get that number as soon as you can if you like that play. I know I already took it. I agree. BYU is going to bounce back big time this week. I like that play. Yeah. I mean,
I'll say should because of what they've done to me before, like Boise State game.
Yeah. Gosh, that was Still leaves such a bad taste in the mouth.
It
But
does. But here I am again for more.
hey, that's how we go about it. This next game I got here, by the way, I'm Kayvon Izami at Kayvon_sports. That's my guy Dan Hickman at DanH720. This is the Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Betting Show. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. As Dan loves to say, please subscribe. Please give us a like. Hit that bell. Not just for us, but for everyone at Fighting Chance Fantasy. Trust me, you will win your fantasy lineups and your matchups and all of that stuff, daily fantasy, season long, whatever, if you go and follow what those writers are doing. It's some great stuff.
Some great articles on there. Some good DFS stuff if you guys are into DFS. Every week that our team's putting together.
It really is, man. It's awesome. So, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. So, for my second pick of the week, I'm going with, and this is the team that it's hard to go against because Dan has been on him 2 weeks in a row, and I have followed him on that, and they have been amazing for us, and they have cashed both weeks. But sometimes you got to go against it, and I am going with San Diego State +3. I got it at +3.5. It's down to +3. I think it continues to drop, to be honest. There's clearly sharp money, and that's over Air Force. Okay? Air Force, the team we've loved the last 2 weeks. This is my Mountain West Conference dog of the month, baby. I love this type of pick, all right? This is kind of like what I like to call old school handicapping here. San Diego State is an underdog that runs for more than 200 yards per game. But not only that, and when I was telling Dan about this pick, he mentioned this and he was spot on. This is the biggest thing. They hold their opponents to less than 100 yards rushing per game. In fact, no one is better at stopping the run than the Aztecs, who allow, so far, just the most they've allowed is 60 yards rushing per game. Like, that's their average that they're actually allowing. It's incredible. They obviously understand this is a much different running attack. The Air Force attack, it's tough, but they understand this team. They play in the same conference. They understand how to play defensively against this team, and they understand how to force the Air Force Falcons, out of their comfort zone. Air Force is off a huge win against Boise State, at Boise State, by the way, catching the Broncos at the most perfect time. That's why huge reason we were on Air Force last week, because the Broncos beat BYU the week before. So they were off that play. So Air Force was getting them at a great spot. And now I'm going to take advantage of a team that I think will be in a flat spot, and of a team that San Diego State has actually owned Air Force in the last, they really have. They've beaten them 8 times in a row. They're going for their 9th straight win this year. I just can't pass all that stuff up. I think San Diego State is a really sound defense. I think they're a well-coached football team. They're going to be prepared for this rushing attack. Give me San Diego State +3, but I think they win outright.
Yeah, and I think that's one you want to jump on soon too, or just might be a no bet status for me if it gets much whittled down much more than that.
No doubt.
Yeah, I don't have much to say there. You really covered it, but I would say that for me, it's a touchy-feely spot. I don't know if I can actually pile it on either team.
Yeah,
but I agree with your take, and I do know last season, I think, and many seasons ago, like Air Force has struggled with this team. It goes back, and I will say this season, I've watched a good amount of Air Force games, and their regular running attack, I've said it before, like the regular running attack looks pretty good, but like when they're actually running these triple option style plays, they seem really slow to develop and predictable. I think they're going to, like, if you were to sit there with a notepad and just like jot down each and every one of them against San Diego State, I think almost all of them will go for a loss. Like, I'm just going to say that right now.
I don't
know who wins, but it's going to be a hell of a game. So hopefully we get to – is that a night game? Hopefully we can tune in and watch that one.
Yeah, I think it's a 7:30 game if I'm correct.
It'll be on while NC State's on, so I'll try to split it and watch both.
What you got, man? This is
All
is
right.
your
Yeah.
second or third?
BYU is my second, so
Gotcha.
this is
Yep.
going to be my favorite bet of the week.
Yep.
And I can say with a huge amount of confidence, this is something I've done before that I'm shocked to see is actually at an even slightly better number this week. Excuse me. And it's what I have the most actual money on myself right now out of everything. It's a 2-unit play that I put in already this week. And I double checked it right before the show, and I found a book out there that still is offering it. And that is going to be, drum roll, Cincinnati Bearcats. Once again, over 37.5 team total against the Navy. Yes, I see you out there taking Navy on the spread against Cincinnati. That's really crafty of you and everything, and cute, but like in all seriousness, the only thing the Navy does well is driving the ball very slowly down the field, like an old, like half broken down school bus that just barely makes it, and then maybe just gets pushed into the end zone barely eventually, or just turns it over, or in this case, a pick six for Cincinnati the other way, because they are probably arguably the most explosive team in the country on both sides of the ball. I mean, they are right up there with the very best, in my opinion. So I've got, and this is the easiest play of the week for me. This was like next to no brainer material. It's like flow chart, boom, boom. If you can find it, that's the hard part. I have 6 books that I use personally, and only one had it. So shout out to Bet Rivers, who had this at -127. Not the greatest odds, but I actually used a boost and made it near even money. So I went for that for 2 units.
Yeah, that's such a fun play. It's such a great play, and just so everyone understands that are new out there to betting, he's going with the team total of Cincinnati, not the total of the game, not Cincinnati spread. Some people correlate when they hear, oh, if Dan's taking over 37 team total, that means he for sure likes the spread too. That's not what he's saying. And even though they probably do cover the spread, he's just saying they're going to pile it on. The team total's the best way to go, right, Dan?
In my firm opinion, it absolutely is.
I agree.
I think the spread is okay, but it keeps getting big. I mean, it's been around 4 touchdowns. I don't care what team it is. Like, I just don't like laying big numbers. It's, you go do that week in, week out, and tell me how it goes by the end of the season. Get back to me and leave us a comment about it, please.
Yeah, right.
I would love to hear it.
You'll be down money.
Yeah, it's not every once in a while, sure. But in general, it's a good way to play with fire and get burned eventually.
No doubt. It's a great play. You're not leaving it up to both sides. You're not leaving it up to last second scores, garbage time. You're just letting that amazing Cincinnati offense go do their thing, which they do every week. They might cover that before the third quarter is even over. I love that play so much. All right,
for sure.
Going to my fighting chance best bet of the week. That was Dan's. This is mine, and I'm going to a big game here. And this is a big game for us ACC folks, all right? And I was talking about this earlier when I was bringing up Kenny Pickett. I'm going with Pittsburgh, -3.5 versus Clemson. I will look. I like Clemson, and a lot of people are going to give me hate for that. I like Dabo. I like Clemson because I'm an ACC guy, and I like to see the ACC do well. And I think it's great that Clemson's been carrying us. Like I do. And a lot of people think I'm so weird for that being an ACC guy. I should hate Clemson. I like them being successful. And yeah, you're one of those guys. I get it.
Yeah, I can't. I get it. They're good for the conference and everything when they do well. But hey, why can't we have another team become a power and do well?
Hey, buddy,
That's what
I would love that. So, hey, teams out there, someone step up, please, NC State. I would love that. Clemson's not stopping any other team from becoming a power. Every other team is stopping them. And look, if this was like UNC or something, then get out. Clemson, they don't do anything to State. They're over there. I don't. And plus, I also, I'm a player guy. I've always loved Trevor Lawrence. I like Deshaun Watson before all that stuff went down. But anyway, so I like I like those. I like the guys that Dabo recruits and stuff like that.
Of course. Not saying that. I'm not saying that I don't like the players. Just tired of the same old, and as a whole, the whole landscape has been a complete change across college football this season. And honestly, for someone like me, it's very refreshing.
It is, and to that point, I am fading Clemson. And Pitt. Look, I get it. It's Pittsburgh. It's Steelers country. It's Penn State country. Yeah. Penn State's the last thing that people care about. But guys, Pitt is a damn good team. They're a good team. And their QB Pickett is on fire. 21 TD passes, 1980 yards, 1,980 yards with one interception. One interception. A common opponent between these two teams, but Georgia Tech. Clemson managed a 14-8 win against Georgia Tech, and they had to stop them on the last second to win that game. Pittsburgh hammered Georgia Tech 52-21. I am all over Clemson scoring less than 16 points a game against FBS opponents. Pittsburgh is number 5 in the country when it comes to scoring, while Clemson is number 115. Pittsburgh is at home. The crowd is going to get up for this game. This is a back-to-back travel spot for Clemson after struggling against Syracuse last week. They're only scoring 17 points in a 3-point win. Pitt has had 2 years of just dominating. Clemson has dominated Pitt. I mean, they have wiped them to the floor 2 years straight. This is the one time where Pitt can finally say, we actually have a chance to take all of our frustration out on this Clemson team. I don't see them holding back. I see them going all out. Pitt does usually not sell out or anything like that because, again, it's a pro city. But the fans will show up for this game. And I'm going to tell you guys, I think Pitt wins this game by 14-17 points. I think they dominate this game. I usually do not condone this. By the way, Pitt is 5-1 straight up and 5-1 against the spread. Their only loss was a brain fart against Western Michigan, which, by the way, I was on Western Michigan that game. Thank you.
This week, though.
Yeah, not this week. And Pickett's still in that loss through 6 touchdown passes. Look, Pitt's going to roll here, 48 points per game on offense. I don't condone this. I would take the 3.5 because, like I just said, I think they're going to win by 14. But if you are worried about the 3.5, this is the one time where I say you can buy a point to get you to 120. I wouldn't pay anything more than 120 if your shop makes you buy a point. But if you feel better, do that. I'm not. I'm rolling with the 3.5 because I'm confident that Pittsburgh gets it done big time against Clemson. And the tough season for Dabo keeps getting tougher and tougher after this game, Saturday night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot. There's like 3 or 4 ACC games I feel like I can make a parlay out of this week, and that would be one of the marquee ones. I won't say which one I like the most, unless you want me to. But I mean that is an awesome call. Oh, it's hard. It's hard to say, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty equal to me. It's hard to get into the weeds. Right. You're going to get into the weeds if you try to pick one.
No doubt.
But I'll recap it. I mean, it's obviously like the best play here is Kayvon's favorite. You got to be going Pitt this week. I agree with everything he said. The only thing I may not agree with is I don't know if I've ever seen that stadium full for anything other than my beloved Steelers game.
And it's so funny, bro. It's so funny, dude. When I said that stadium's going to be full, I saw your face, and I immediately was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. That stadium definitely doesn't fill up for Pitt games. But
your point applies.
There's something it's not going to sell out. Again, they don't say it's not a college town, but the fans understand that, we actually might be able to beat Clemson here this time. And that's going to get people to show up, and they're going to get a lead, and it's going to get rowdy. So
I agree with that. I mean, I'm on board. I'm looking to get that in there. Admittedly, I haven't got it on there yet. Today's been a busy day, but I've got some stuff to do now. Got some stuff to add to the card.
Yes, sir. All right.
You guys do too.
Dan, run us through your plays 1 to 3, the third being your favorite.
All right. First, I had Toledo, plus 2.5. Get them at plus 3 if you can. Take them for a unit. And then secondly, I had BYU. It's currently at -4. Try to get that for no worse than 6.5, 7. Hopefully, just jump on it, get it now. I think that one's moving really quick. My favorite play of the week, Cincinnati team total over 37.5. If you can find it, I think I like this one. But I didn't mention, I should have. It's really bad on me, but I did last week when I took this. They're averaging over 40 points a game. Cincinnati is. So over 37.5, I would take that all the way up to like 38.5, 39. And the odds on that might be a little juiced, but I'm very confident in that one. Take it for at least a unit. It was a 2-unit play for me. Those are my 3.
Love it, man. Love it so much. Awesome. And mine are Iowa State -7 at home to Oklahoma State. San Diego State +3 against Air Force. Sorry, Air Force, we love you. We'll probably be back on you again soon.
It's all right.
It's all right. And then final, best one, my Fighting Chance Fantasy, best bet of the week. Give me Clemson to beat down on the, give me Pittsburgh.
No.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, wow. Take that out of my mouth right away. Edit it. Producer. Oh, wait, we're the producer. Edit it. Give me Pittsburgh -3.5 to beat down Clemson Saturday night. Dan, we went 6-0 last week. Can I get a 6-0 this week? Can we get it?
Let's ask all these teams that, let's ask all the other stuff. But yes, in all seriousness, that's what we're going for here. Let's keep it rolling. No bad weeks here. That's what I try to say. I know it's coming at some point. It happens usually once or twice a season to everybody, even if you're doing this really well. So don't beat yourself up out there if it does happen to you. But
no doubt.
Let's go get it again this week.
No doubt. It's games and ups and flows. You got to be able to handle it. If you can't, then you probably shouldn't be betting. But we are here to help you out. We're here to lead you in the right way, and we're here to give you good advice and wise bets. For Dan Hickman at DanH720, do you have anything else to say, my guy?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that point, never go over your head. Don't chase.
Yes.
2 best pieces of advice I've ever been given to me. In all seriousness out there, just make sure you're not doing that. I know I sound like your mom or dad, but seriously, don't do that. You're not going to help yourself in the long run. Ever.
It's you got to have self control. You got to be able to pull back. You got to be able to say, I know I just lost 2 games in a row. I should not put it all in on this third game here to catch it all back up. It will never work out. Other than that, guys, again, we appreciate you. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, follow the show. We've gotten a ton of feedback already. We appreciate it. I will be seeing you guys for my NFL show, and I want to say this early because I know this gets out way before. Be careful this week in NFL, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to go in on this deep in the NFL show. This is 2 weeks in a row. The Las Vegas books have gotten hammered. They have gotten destroyed in NFL. Not just Las Vegas, all books. We have bookmakers out there whining on Twitter. They have gotten killed. The lines are weird this week for a reason. The big buildings out in Vegas are there for a reason. They're not going to get destroyed 3 weeks in a row. It doesn't happen. Be careful laying with some of these massive favorites out there. Just trust me. This is how Vegas works. They don't get pounded every single week. I'm going to go way in depth on this on the NFL show on Saturday morning, so stay tuned for that. But just something to think about if you get your bets in earlier. Other than that, Dan, thank you so much for your time, man. We really appreciate all your great insight. Follow him on Twitter at DanH720. Follow me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. And we will be back next week to recap this week and to talk about our favorite picks. Then have a great night.
See ya.